Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money and success effortlessly, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? What if the secret isn't about how much you earn or where you come from, but about how you think and act every single day? If you've ever felt stuck or frustrated with your financial situation, you're about to discover a different way, one that is practical, proven, and open to anyone willing to change their mindset. In this video, we're going to explore the real habits and choices that set wealthy people apart. These are not complicated tricks or get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, you'll learn how small but powerful actions done consistently can build your confidence, grow your income, and create lasting success. You'll find out how to take full control of your life, stop making excuses, and invest in yourself in ways that really pay off. Imagine waking up every day feeling motivated because you know exactly what steps to take toward your financial goals. Imagine having the discipline to stay on track even when things get hard. That's what thinking and acting like the wealthy looks like. This isn't just about money, it's about creating a life filled with purpose, growth, and freedom. Stay with me as we uncover the secrets that can change your future. By the end of this video, you'll have clear, actionable steps to start attracting success and building the life you want. Are you ready to take that first step? Let's get started. Chapter 1: Master your thoughts to control your financial future. Your mind is the first asset you must master if you want to attract financial success. It isn't your job, your income level, your connections, or your education that determines your future. It's how you think. The thoughts you repeat every day, the beliefs you carry about yourself, money, and the world around you are shaping your life even when you're not aware of it. If your thoughts are disorganized, negative, or rooted in fear, you'll find yourself stuck in the same patterns, no matter how hard you try to change your circumstances. But when your thinking is clear, focused, and disciplined, your actions begin to align with success. This chapter is not about thinking positive for the sake of feeling good. It's about building mental strength, emotional control, and a clear vision that supports your financial future. Most people grow up surrounded by messages that create limitations in their mind. They hear things like money is hard to make, rich people are greedy, you have to struggle to succeed, or that's just not meant for people like us. These messages, often repeated by parents, teachers, or society, become internal beliefs, and once they take root, they control how people behave. Someone who believes money is evil will avoid building wealth even if they say they want it. Someone who thinks success is reserved for others will never give themselves permission to reach for more. If you want to think and act like the wealthy, the first step is to become aware of what you've been believing all this time and challenge it. Wealthy people don't just think differently because they have money, they had to think differently to create money. Long before the world saw their results, they were working on their inner world. They focused on what they could control: their time, their decisions, their learning, and their habits. They didn't waste energy on what other people thought or what they couldn't change. They built discipline around their thoughts. They trained themselves to stay focused on solutions. They asked better questions, like how can I grow, instead of why is this happening to me? That shift in thinking changed everything. Most people wake up each morning and go through their day, reacting to whatever comes at them. They don't have a mental strategy. They don't pause to question whether their thoughts are helping or harming them. But you cannot build wealth by accident. You have to become intentional about the way you think. Start each day by asking yourself what kind of mindset you're bringing into the world. Are you thinking like a person who takes responsibility, or like someone who waits for things to change? Are you thinking like a builder or a complainer? This quiet awareness creates space to choose better thoughts, and better thoughts lead to better action. You don't have to silence every negative thought. That's not realistic. But you do have to learn how to separate yourself from the noise in your head. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. Thoughts are like visitors. They come and go. The problem starts when you accept every thought as fact and let it control your mood and behavior. Wealthy thinkers don't let fear make decisions for them. They recognize fear, investigate it, and then decide how to act with logic and courage. This doesn't mean they are fearless. It means they don't let fear dictate their future. One of the most powerful ways to train your mind is through daily self-reflection. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to review your thoughts and decisions. Ask yourself what kind of thinking showed up today. Did you dwell on problems or solutions? Did you focus on what you lack or what you can build? Did you compare yourself to others or focus on your own progress? This kind of review creates awareness and growth. It allows you to correct course before bad habits take hold. Another important shift is to stop looking at money as something outside of you and start seeing it as a reflection of your inner discipline. Wealthy people don't chase money, they build value, and value begins with clarity of mind. If your thoughts are full of distraction, fear, and scattered emotions, your work will reflect that. But when your mind is focused and steady, your efforts become precise and effective. You do better work, you make better decisions, you handle challenges with more resilience, and over time, this creates real wealth. Wealth also requires long-term thinking. Poor thinking is focused on the next hour, the next day, or the next paycheck. Wealthy thinking looks 5, 10, or 20 years ahead. It asks how today's decisions will impact the future, or it sacrifices short-term comfort for long-term gain. If you want to change your financial future, you have to extend your timeline. Stop trying to win quickly and start planning for a life that compounds over time. This kind of thinking changes how you spend, how you work, and how you invest your time. Another habit that shapes your thinking is the way you speak to yourself. Your inner voice becomes the instructions your brain follows. If you constantly tell yourself you're not smart enough, not lucky enough, or not capable, you're programming your brain to underperform. But if you feed your mind thoughts like, I can figure this out, I'm in control of my time, or I have what it takes to grow, your actions begin to match that message. You don't need to lie to yourself or pretend everything is perfect. You just need to stop reinforcing weakness and start speaking from strength. Thinking like the wealthy also means embracing discomfort. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. The people who build wealth don't run from hard decisions. They don't avoid risk out of fear. They calculate risk. They step into challenge. They use failure as information, and they don't let temporary discomfort stop them from building something permanent. If you want to improve your life, you need to be willing to do what is uncomfortable until it becomes natural. That includes budgeting, planning, saying no to distractions, and pushing through self-doubt. Financial success is not about luck or perfect timing. It's about clarity of mind, consistency of action, and emotional discipline. You must train yourself to think in alignment with the future you want. This means protecting your mental space from useless noise. It means being careful about what you allow into your mind, what you watch, what you read, and who you listen to. If your thoughts are constantly shaped by fear-based media, toxic opinions, or emotional distractions, you're weakening your focus. But if you fill your mind with knowledge, strategy, and empowering ideas, you strengthen your ability to stay on course. The truth is, your environment will always try to influence your thinking. That's why mental independence is a necessity, not a luxury. Wealthy people don't outsource their thinking to others. They listen, they learn, but they decide for themselves. They question assumptions, they study results, and they stay grounded in principle even when trends change. You must be the same. Trust yourself enough to think independently. Have the courage to say no to what doesn't fit your vision, and don't be afraid to stand alone if the crowd is going in the wrong direction. Every decision you make today is a vote for the kind of life you'll have tomorrow. This includes how you spend your time, how you treat people, how you respond to setbacks, and most importantly, how you think. Wealthy thinking is patient, it's focused, it's grounded in purpose. It does not chase instant approval or short-term gain. It builds a strong internal foundation that nothing can shake. You don't get there by accident. You get there by being intentional, every day, especially when no one is watching. To master your thoughts, you have to create systems that support clarity. This might mean waking up early for quiet time before the noise of the world begins. It might mean writing your goals each morning to stay focused. It might mean avoiding social media in the first hour of your day. These small routines are not about perfection, they are about direction. They help your mind stay aligned with who you want to become, and over time, they create massive results. Self-mastery is the foundation of financial mastery. The more you understand your own mind, the more control you have over your life. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start being the kind of thinker who can build wealth from the inside out. That means focusing on what you can control, letting go of distractions, and staying loyal to your vision no matter what. You don't need to think like everyone else. You need to think like the version of you who has already succeeded. You need to think from the perspective of someone who has discipline, who acts with purpose, and who doesn't waste time or energy on things that don't move them forward. That version of you is already inside. You just have to train your mind to follow it. Real success is not found in shortcuts or secrets. It's found in quiet moments of discipline, when you choose to think clearly instead of reacting emotionally. It's found in the way you speak to yourself when no one's listening. It's found in your ability to keep going when things are hard, because your thoughts are rooted in something stronger than circumstances. You will not master your thoughts in a day, but you can start today. You can pause and observe. You can choose a better thought. You can challenge the old belief that's holding you back, and you can decide, right now, that your future will not be shaped by fear, doubt, or distraction, but by clarity, purpose, and discipline. This is how you begin to think and act like the wealthy. Not by pretending to be something you're not, but by choosing every day to be more focused, more intentional, and more aligned with your highest potential. Your thoughts are the foundation of your results. Build them strong, build them true, and everything else will begin to change. Chapter 2. Build daily habits that multiply long-term results. Success doesn't show up all at once. It doesn't arrive in one big moment or from one big opportunity. The truth is, real success is the quiet result of small decisions made every single day. And if you study wealthy people closely, you'll notice one thing they all have in common. They build their lives on consistent daily habits that compound over time. They don't rely on motivation or inspiration to get things done. They create systems that work even when they don't feel like it. They understand that habits are more powerful than goals, because habits determine what kind of person you become. If you want to attract financial success, you must stop waiting for the right time and start building habits that work for you every day. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they need a big transformation to change their lives. They think they have to overhaul everything at once, wake up at 5 a.m., to the business, eat clean, meditate, read 10 books a month, and change every bad habit overnight. That belief leads to burnout and disappointment. What you actually need is a small routine that you can stick to daily, even when you're tired, even when life is chaotic, even when no one's watching. That routine becomes your foundation, and once it's solid, you can add more over time. The wealthy don't try to do everything. They focus on doing the right things consistently. You don't become financially successful by accident. It comes from doing boring but important things every day. Things like reviewing your spending, planning your week, learning new skills, managing your time, following through on your promises, and protecting your energy. None of these things are exciting in the moment, but when done daily, they give you control over your life. You stop being reactive and start becoming intentional. You stop blaming circumstances and start shaping them. And slowly, your results begin to shift, not because you're lucky, but because you're disciplined. Your habits are a reflection of your values. If your habits are chaotic, your priorities are unclear. If your habits are destructive, your self-image is suffering. If your habits are intentional, your future becomes stable. That's why wealthy people guard their routines so carefully. They know that their morning routine sets the tone for their entire day. They know that what they do during the first hour of their morning determines whether they're in control or being controlled. If you want to join them, start by paying attention to the first thing you do after waking up. Is it mindless scrolling? Is it complaining? Or is it something that sets you up to win, like journaling, planning, reading, or moving your body? Habits don't just influence your actions, they change how you see yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. Every time you finish something you started, you strengthen your confidence. Every time you show up, even when it's uncomfortable, you train yourself to believe that you are capable. Wealthy people don't have perfect habits. They have consistent ones. They don't wait to feel inspired. They get things done whether they feel like it or not. And because of that discipline, they are always building momentum, even on hard days. One of the most powerful habits you can build is the habit of doing hard things first. Most people procrastinate when something feels difficult or uncomfortable. Wealthy thinkers do the opposite. They lean into challenge. They tackle the hardest task at the beginning of their day, when their mind is fresh. This builds mental strength. It makes the rest of the day feel lighter, and it teaches you that success is not about avoiding discomfort, it's about being stronger than it. If you spend your mornings avoiding the things that matter, your life becomes a cycle of delay and regret. But if you build the habit of doing what needs to be done, your confidence grows and your results follow. You don't need to change your whole life to change your habits. Start small, but start today. Pick one habit that moves your life forward and do it daily. It could be tracking your spending, reading for 15 minutes, or planning your day before checking your phone. Whatever it is, make it simple enough that you can do it even on your worst day. Consistency matters more than intensity. One habit done every day for a year will take you further than 100 ideas never followed through. Your environment matters. If your environment is full of distractions, your habits will break down. Wealthy people design their environment for success. They keep their workspace clean, their schedule clear, and their phone settings under control. They eliminate friction between themselves and the habits they want to build. If they want to eat healthy, they keep healthy food nearby. If they want to read more, they place books where they can see them. They don't rely on willpower. They make the right choice, the easy choice. If your environment is working against your habits, no amount of discipline will save you. You must align your surroundings with your values. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about protection. When you build habits that protect your time, your energy, and your focus, you are protecting your future. Wealthy people say no often, not because they're selfish, but because they understand the cost of distractions. They don't say yes to every invitation, message, or trend. They protect their routines. They stay grounded in what matters. And because of that, they make steady progress while others stay busy but stuck. If your life feels chaotic, check your habits. If you're always overwhelmed, simplify your routine. The answer is not doing more, it's doing less better. There will be days when you fall off. That's normal. Wealthy people don't let one bad day become a bad week. They reset quickly. They don't judge themselves. They just start again. The habit of starting again is one of the most underrated skills in life. Most people fail not because they can't do the work, but because they stop trying after they slip. If you can train yourself to keep showing up, no matter how many times you fall, you will win. Not because you're perfect, but because you're persistent. Habits are not built through information. They are built through repetition. You can read all the books and take all the courses, but if you're not acting daily, nothing will change. Action creates progress. Progress builds momentum, and momentum changes your life. Don't wait for motivation. Create systems that work on autopilot. Automate your savings. Schedule your deep work hours. Block your distractions. Create a daily rhythm that keeps you aligned with your purpose. Wealthy people don't trust their emotions to guide them. They trust their routines. They know that if their habits are solid, their life will be too. To become the kind of person who attracts financial success, you must become someone who honors your daily routine. That doesn't mean being rigid. It means being reliable. It means understanding that every habit is a vote for the person you're becoming. If you keep voting for strength, focus, discipline, and growth, those qualities will show up in your life, and so will the results that match them. Don't chase intensity. Chase consistency. A 5-minute habit done every day is more powerful than a perfect plan that falls apart after a week. Show up daily. Build small wins. Protect your routine. Let your habits compound. And over time you will become someone who doesn't just think like the wealthy, but someone who lives with the calm confidence of a person who built success, one strong day at a time. Chapter 3. Eliminate excuses and take full ownership today. If you want to think and act like the wealthy, there is one decision you cannot avoid. You must take full ownership of your life, not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready. Today, the moment you take complete responsibility for everything in your control, your life begins to shift. The wealthy don't make excuses. They don't point fingers. They don't wait for someone else to change their situation. They look in the mirror and say, if it's going to get better, it's up to me. That mindset is not just powerful, it's necessary. Excuses create limits. Ownership creates freedom. It's easy to blame your past, your parents, your education, your boss, or the economy. That's what most people do. But none of those things will move your life forward. The only thing that will is action. As long as you believe something or someone else is responsible for your situation, you stay stuck. You give away your power. You convince yourself that change is not possible unless the world around you changes first. But the truth is, your external life reflects your internal patterns. When you change the way you think and act, the results eventually follow. Owning your life doesn't mean you caused everything. It means you are responsible for what happens next. You can't always control what happened to you, but you can always control how you respond. That response is what shapes your future. The moment you stop justifying your limitations, you create space to grow. You begin to ask better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of asking, who will help me? You ask, how can I help myself? And that shift opens doors that blame will always keep shut. People who grow up with less often use that as a reason to settle for less. But the wealthy often come from hardship too. They just respond differently. They don't use their past as a cage. They use it as fuel. They don't deny that it was hard. They just refuse to let it define them. You can't rewrite your childhood. You can't erase the disappointments. But you can choose what you do with them now. Will you use your pain as a story to stay small, or will you use it as a reason to rise higher? That decision is yours alone. The longer you hold on to excuses, the harder it becomes to recognize your own potential. Excuses don't just delay action, they distort reality. They convince you that effort won't matter. They tell you that people like you never win. They make you believe that you need to wait for perfect timing, more resources, or outside approval. But the truth is, you're never going to feel fully ready. You'll never have perfect clarity. The only way to build confidence is to take action now. Even when you're uncertain, even when you're afraid, especially when it's uncomfortable. Full ownership begins with your thoughts. You must take control of the way you speak to yourself. Most people are sabotaged not by others, but by their own inner dialogue. They replay every mistake. They highlight every weakness. They downplay every win. If you want to grow, you must stop arguing for your limitations. You must stop telling yourself why you can't. You must stop rehearsing a story where you are the victim, because every time you do, you reinforce the belief that you are powerless. And no one who believes they are powerless creates a powerful life. Wealthy people train their minds daily. They don't wait for external motivation. They create internal stability. They read, they reflect, they reset. When setbacks happen, they don't spiral, they adapt. When things go wrong, they don't shut down, they learn. They know that life will always present challenges, but instead of complaining, they take ownership of their mindset. Because if your mind is cluttered with blame, there is no space for solutions. If your mind is filled with doubt, there is no room for strategy. Ownership clears that space. It gives you the focus to move forward with purpose. You must stop waiting for someone to save you. That version of your life where someone else comes in and gives you the opportunity you've been hoping for, that's a fantasy. Wealthy people don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They take initiative. They make the first move. They invest in themselves even when it's risky. They choose growth over comfort. And that mindset is what creates the results that others admire. If you want to rise, you must lead yourself first. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself enough to start. Taking ownership means being honest about how you spend your time. Most people say they don't have time, but spend hours scrolling, watching, or procrastinating. Wealthy people don't let their days slip away. They track how they use their hours. They evaluate what's working and what's not. They don't wait for a perfect schedule. They create structure based on priorities. If you want more out of life, look at how you use your time. What are you building? What are you avoiding? What are you tolerating? The answers to those questions will tell you if you're on the path to growth or just circling the same problems. You also must take ownership of your results. That means stop saying "I tried" as an excuse. Effort without results isn't the goal. You must learn from failure, adapt your approach, and try again differently. Wealthy people don't romanticize effort. They pursue outcomes. They don't get stuck in the loop of doing what's comfortable. They push for clarity. If something isn't working, they change direction. They don't keep doing the same thing hoping it will magically work next time. That's how you waste years. Taking ownership means evaluating your strategy and adjusting until you see progress. People will always have opinions. Some will support you, others will doubt you. Taking ownership means deciding that their opinions don't outweigh your purpose. The wealthy don't need applause to move forward. They don't shrink to make others comfortable. They know that growth requires courage, and courage is often lonely. If you are always waiting for approval, you will stay stuck in a life that looks safe but feels empty. Stop explaining yourself. Stop apologizing for your ambition. Take ownership of your goals and go after them with full energy, even if no one else understands yet. You must also take ownership of your emotions. That doesn't mean suppressing them. It means not letting them control you. Life is full of frustration, rejection, fear, and uncertainty. But wealthy people don't let temporary emotions destroy permanent goals. They sit with the feeling, understand it, and then move forward with discipline. Emotional control is not about being cold. It's about being wise. If you explode every time something goes wrong, your habits will break down. If you let every challenge derail you, you'll never stay consistent long enough to win. Ownership gives you stability. It keeps you anchored when life shakes you. Taking ownership also means being patient. Wealth does not come quickly, and growth is rarely instant. But if you quit every time progress is slow, you'll never reach the finish line. Most people fail because they stop showing up. Wealthy people succeed because they stay committed. They trust the process. They keep going when it's boring. They stay focused when others get distracted. They measure progress in small wins, and they keep building when there's no applause. Ownership means you don't give up just because the results haven't arrived yet. You keep working because you've decided who you want to become. The moment you stop blaming is the moment your power returns. It's not easy. It requires discipline. It demands self-awareness. It forces you to face yourself with honesty. But the reward is worth it. Because once you take full ownership, you become unstoppable. You don't wait for change. You create it. You don't avoid challenges. You grow from them. You don't live in reaction. You lead your life with direction. And that's when success starts to multiply. Not because life gets easier, but because you become stronger. Start today, not with a perfect plan, not with a grand announcement, just with the decision to take responsibility for one area of your life. Show up fully, own your actions, own your results, own your future, and never hand that power to anyone else again. Chapter 4. Invest in learning to increase your income potential. If you want to expand your income, you must first expand your ability. Nothing increases your financial potential faster than intentional learning. Not casual reading, not scrolling for quotes. Real focused, strategic learning that improves how you think and what you can do. The people who earn the most are the ones who know how to solve the biggest problems, provide the most value, and lead others with confidence. And none of that happens by accident. It happens through daily effort to grow your knowledge, sharpen your skills, and evolve your mindset. Learning is not something you leave behind when school ends. It is the foundation of your future wealth. The wealthy understand this. They treat education as an investment, not a chore. They know that every new insight, every refined skill, every new system they understand adds value to who they are. And when you become more valuable, the world rewards you differently. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the results you can produce. And to produce better results, you must grow beyond what you currently know. Most people stop learning the moment life becomes comfortable. They believe what they already know is enough to get by, but the world changes fast. And if you don't upgrade your knowledge, you fall behind quietly, slowly, without even noticing. Your old skills become less useful. Your old ideas stop working. Your past achievements lose relevance. And suddenly, you're stuck wondering why your income hasn't grown. The answer is simple. Your income won't grow unless you do. If you want more, you must become more. And becoming more starts with learning deliberately, not passively. Learning is not limited to books, though books are powerful. It also includes courses, mentors, experiences, and thoughtful conversations. It's watching someone do what you want to do and asking better questions. It's finding people who are further ahead and listening with humility. It's studying how things work, how markets shift, how people think, how systems operate, and using that information to make better decisions. If you want to move up in life, you must think like a student who never graduates. You must see every day as a chance to level up your understanding. One of the most common habits among wealthy people is that they read constantly, not just for entertainment, but for elevation. They don't waste time on gossip or noise. They focus on ideas that challenge them to think bigger. They absorb principles that sharpen their vision. They study people who have already walked the path, and they apply what they learn quickly. They don't just collect information, they use it, because information that is not applied is useless. If you want your income to grow, you must stop consuming content without direction and start learning with purpose. Sometimes people say they don't have time to learn, but they do have time to binge shows, scroll endlessly, or complain about their situation. It's not a time problem, it's a priority problem. Learning doesn't require hours of free time, it requires intention. You can listen to audiobooks while commuting. You can read 10 pages every morning. You can take online classes at night. You can study during your lunch break. The moments are there, you just have to claim them. Your future doesn't depend on how busy you are. It depends on how committed you are to growth. The most successful people you admire didn't get lucky, they got educated. Not necessarily through formal schooling, but through relentless self-education. They studied money, influence, communication, leadership, and psychology. They became experts at understanding people and solving real problems, and as their competence increased, so did their confidence. And with confidence came opportunities. That path is available to you too, but you must be willing to be a beginner. You must be willing to not know. You must be willing to learn from failure, ask for help, and admit that you still have room to grow. The income you earn today is a reflection of the value you provided yesterday, and the value you provide tomorrow depends on what you learn today. Learning increases leverage. It multiplies the return on your efforts. When you develop new skills like communication, sales, critical thinking, or strategic planning, you open doors that were once closed. You become more adaptable. You spot trends earlier. You solve problems faster. And those things make you irreplaceable in a world where most people stay average by default. Learning also builds your belief. The more you know, the more confident you become in taking action. Many people don't move forward because they're afraid. They fear failure. They fear being judged. They fear making mistakes. But most of that fear disappears when you have the right knowledge. Knowledge builds certainty. Certainty gives you courage, and courage leads to action. The more you learn, the fewer excuses you need, because you know what to do, how to do it, and why it matters. And that clarity moves you faster than motivation ever could. Don't wait for someone to tell you what to learn. Curate your own curriculum. If you want to master money, study how wealth is built, how taxes work, how investments grow. If you want to lead, study human behavior, influence, and decision-making. If you want to grow a business, study marketing, systems, and customer psychology. The answers are available, but you have to search for them. You have to go deeper than surface-level tips. You have to treat learning like survival, not luxury, because in many ways it is. As you learn, track your progress, reflect on what's working, share what you've learned with others. It deepens your understanding. Apply your knowledge in real-life situations. Don't be afraid to experiment. Every time you use what you learn, you grow more confident. You begin to build a reputation. People start to notice your expertise. New opportunities begin to appear. Income flows not to the person who knows the most facts, but to the one who can use their knowledge to create real results. That's the difference between consumption and transformation. There will always be people who know more than you. That's not a threat. It's a reminder that you have more to learn. Stay humble. Stay curious. Don't let ego get in the way of your evolution. The moment you think you've learnt enough is the moment your growth stops. The wealthy are obsessed with learning because they know there is always another level, and the higher they climb, the more responsibility they carry, the more knowledge they need. If you want to keep rising, you must commit to learning as a way of life. You will have to make sacrifices. Time spent learning is time not spent doing what's easy. It may cost you comfort. It may cost you social approval. It may challenge everything you believe, but the cost of not learning is far higher. It keeps you stuck. It limits your potential. It traps you in routines that no longer serve you. And eventually, it steals your options. Learning is what gives you options. Learning is what gives you freedom. And freedom, not just money, is the real goal. Make a decision today to become a serious student of your future. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop underestimating your mind. Stop avoiding the discomfort of growth. Pick one area of your life you want to improve and start studying it like your life depends on it, because it does. The more you learn, the more you earn, not just in money, but in impact, purpose, and peace. And that's the kind of wealth worth building. Chapter 5. Surround yourself with people who build your vision. The people around you shape your future more than your motivation, your habits, or your goals. Who you choose to allow into your life can either push you forward with energy and support, or pull you backward with doubt and distraction. You cannot build a strong future surrounded by people who don't believe in growth. If your vision is important, then protecting your environment is not optional, it's essential. Your ideas need space to grow, your energy needs to be guarded, and your time needs to be invested with people who fuel your direction, not drain it. You will never rise above the standards of those you spend time with. If you're surrounded by people who complain, who make excuses, who fear change, who mock ambition, you will either shrink to fit their comfort or exhaust yourself trying to carry their weight. On the other hand, if you're surrounded by people who set goals, take action, share knowledge, and believe in your potential, you will grow faster without even realizing it. The right circle changes everything. It holds you accountable. It challenges you to think higher. It reminds you of who you said you wanted to become. You do not need 100 people in your life. You need a few who truly get it. People who don't just nod politely when you speak about your dreams, but people who ask you questions, give honest feedback, and push you to make it real. These are people who understand what it takes to build something from nothing. They know it's not easy, but they also know it's possible. They have failed and kept going. They have sacrificed things to grow, and they want to see you win, not because it benefits them, but because it brings them joy to see others rise. Most people keep small minds around them out of habit, not out of intention. They don't even realize how damaging their environment is because they've been in it so long. But if you stop and pay attention, you'll notice the patterns. Who do you talk to most often? What do they speak about? How do you feel after spending time with them? Are they focused on what's possible or stuck in what went wrong? Do they encourage bold action, or do they always talk you out of your next step? These questions matter because your vision cannot survive in a place where it is always under attack. Building a circle that supports your vision is not about ego, it's about alignment. You're not better than anyone, but you are building something that not everyone is ready to understand. That's okay. Not everyone has to understand your journey, but you have to protect it. That means setting boundaries. That means spending less time with people who drain your drive. That means being selective about who gets your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your focus. Your dreams are not entertainment. They are your future, and you must treat them with the seriousness they deserve. Sometimes, the hardest part of growth is outgrowing relationships that once felt safe. You may care about someone deeply, but if their influence weakens your resolve, you must create space. You can love people from a distance. You can honor the past without letting it dictate your future. Choosing growth will often feel lonely at first, but that loneliness is temporary, because once you clear the space, you create room for new people to enter, people who are also building, growing, and stretching themselves beyond limits. And those are the people who will not only understand your vision, but expand it. If you want to attract people who build your vision, you have to be someone who builds theirs too. Support, encouragement, honesty, and belief must flow both ways. When you celebrate others, you build trust. When you show up with integrity, you build respect. When you offer value, you build relationships. The right people are drawn to the energy of purpose. They recognize someone who is serious about their path, but you must show that seriousness through action, not just words. Be clear about what you're building. Speak your goals openly. Let others see that you are doing the work. That's how you find others doing the same. You do not need to be the smartest person in the room. In fact, you shouldn't be. You should seek rooms that stretch your thinking, challenge your beliefs, and teach you new ways to win. Being around people who are further ahead is not intimidating, it's inspiring. It reminds you of what's possible, it opens your eyes to new levels of excellence, and it keeps you humble. You start to realize how much more you can become, how much deeper you can go, how many more skills you can build, and that awareness fuels your hunger to grow. You must also learn to remove ego when receiving feedback. The right people will not always agree with you. They will not always tell you what you want to hear, but they will always tell you the truth because they care about your growth more than your comfort. Listen to them, reflect on their words, use their insight to refine your vision. People who challenge you to think deeper are not your enemies. They are your mirrors. They show you blind spots. They expose weak spots, and that's a gift. You don't grow through praise. You grow through pressure and perspective. Some of the people who will shape your journey the most won't be friends or family. They'll be mentors, coaches, authors, and leaders you may never meet. Seek them out. Learn from their stories, absorb their strategies, let their wisdom become part of your mindset. In the digital world, access is no longer the issue. You can watch interviews, listen to podcasts, join groups, attend seminars, and follow thinkers who challenge you to level up. The people who build your vision don't all need to be in your city, they just need to be in your environment. Every day, ask yourself one question: are the people I talk to helping me move closer to my goals or further away? If the answer is unclear, you have work to do. You cannot build a wealthy life while entertaining people who destroy your discipline. You cannot reach your potential while staying close to people who fear growth. You must take responsibility for your environment. That is part of your job as a builder of your future. If you don't manage your circle, it will manage you, and not always in your favor. There is no greater gift than being surrounded by people who believe in your potential and remind you of it when you forget. These people don't let you quit. They don't let you hide. They see through your doubts and pull out your strength. They remind you of the standard you set. They push you to stay focused. And they walk beside you, not just when you're winning, but when you're rebuilding. These are rare people, but they exist, and you can find them if you're brave enough to become one of them first. Choose your people wisely. Choose those who inspire, not impress. Choose those who tell the truth, not just what sounds good. Choose those who live with discipline and vision, because those are the ones who will sharpen you. They will build with you, and together you will become impossible to stop. Surround yourself with builders, and soon you will see your vision take shape in ways you never imagined. Chapter 6. Track your progress and adjust with clear intention. If you want to build wealth and live with intention, you must know where you're going and how far you've come. Without tracking your progress, you're walking in the dark, hoping you'll end up at your destination. But financial success doesn't happen by hope or chance. It happens through clarity, precision, and conscious action. Tracking isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. It's about facing the truth of where you are today, so you can make decisions that lead to a better tomorrow. People who succeed financially don't guess, they measure. They don't react blindly. They reflect, adjust, and move forward with purpose. You can't improve what you don't track. Whether it's your income, your spending, your learning, your productivity, or your goals, every area of growth begins with awareness. Most people say they want more money, but they don't know how much they earn after taxes, how much they spend every month, or where that money is actually going. They work hard, but don't pause to analyze what's working or what needs to change. They stay busy but never get better. If you want to grow, you need a system that reveals your patterns. That system is tracking. Start by keeping it simple. Don't wait for the perfect app or the perfect journal. Take a notebook or a blank page and start writing down what matters. What goal are you working toward? What are the daily actions that move you closer? What distractions are pulling you off course? What habits are supporting your progress? What habits are slowing you down? You don't need to write pages every day. You just need to create a habit of noticing. Track your input, your output, and your mindset. The data will show you what your feelings often hide. Success leaves clues, and so does failure. If you start documenting your effort and your outcomes, patterns will start to appear. You'll see which days you're most focused. You'll realize what times of day you do your best work. You'll notice how your energy changes based on your sleep, your diet, or the people around you. All of this information is valuable because it gives you control. It helps you stop guessing and start adjusting. When something isn't working, you don't get discouraged. You make changes. When something is working, you double down. This is how people build momentum, not through intensity, but through consistency and clarity. Clear tracking also keeps you grounded in reality. It's easy to lie to yourself when everything is vague. You might say you've been productive, but your tracking shows you scrolled through your phone for hours. You might feel like you've been disciplined, but your numbers show you skipped more days than you followed through. This isn't about shame, it's about truth. Because when you can face the truth without running from it, you grow faster, you stop building stories, and you start building habits. You stop living in assumptions, and you start living in facts. Tracking your progress also protects your confidence. On the days you feel like nothing's working, your records will remind you of how far you've come. You'll be able to flip back and see all the times you showed up, all the steps you took, all the wins you earned that you would have forgotten otherwise. Success is slow, and in the middle of the process, it often feels invisible. But if you track it, you'll see it more clearly, and that clarity will motivate you to keep going, especially when your emotions try to convince you to quit. Once you've developed the habit of tracking, the next step is adjusting with intention. Progress without reflection leads to burnout. You must look at what's happening and decide what needs to shift. Are you spending too much time on things that don't create results? Are you chasing too many goals at once and moving nowhere? Are you repeating the same mistakes without realizing it? These questions will guide you towards smarter action. Reflection doesn't mean sitting and thinking endlessly. It means stopping just long enough to learn something useful and then using that insight to move forward with better aim. The people who succeed financially are not the ones who get it right every time. They're the ones who adapt faster. They notice when something isn't working and they don't take it personally. They don't get stuck blaming circumstances or people. They say, "This didn't work, what can I do better?" That mindset keeps them growing, it keeps them learning, and it builds the kind of discipline that creates results even in the face of difficulty. When you live like this, you stop needing external motivation. Your progress becomes your fuel, your awareness becomes your advantage. To make your adjustments clear and intentional, set time every week to review what happened. Don't just move from task to task without looking back. Take 10 minutes every Sunday night or Monday morning to ask yourself simple questions. What worked this week? What didn't work? What can I do differently? Where did I waste time? Where did I stay focused? These small reflections will sharpen your mind. They will help you avoid repeating mistakes, and they will give you a sense of control that most people live without. You should also track the invisible things, your thoughts, your focus, your energy. Wealth is not just about numbers. It's about how clearly and calmly you can think. It's about how well you can handle pressure. If you notice your energy crashes after certain habits, adjust them. If you notice your focus is sharp after certain routines, strengthen them. These things are just as real as money in your account. In fact, they often determine how much of that money you're able to earn and keep. Clarity of mind is a form of wealth. You protect it by knowing what builds it and what breaks it. If you ever feel stuck, go back to your tracking. The answers are usually there. Most people stop progressing, not because they lack talent, but because they stop paying attention. They stop checking in, they stop reviewing, and slowly they drift. Don't drift. Stay awake in your own life. Be the kind of person who looks their progress in the eye every week and says, "Let's get better." That mindset alone will separate you from the majority. It will give you the edge most people never develop, not because it's hard, but because it's rare. There's nothing glamorous about tracking. It's quiet work, it's personal work, but it's the kind of work that leads to freedom. When you know what's happening in your life, when you can see the numbers, the habits, the trends, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become the designer of your results. You don't wait for success to arrive. You build it with every action you take. And when you miss a step, You don't crumble, you adjust, you reset, you keep moving. That is the mark of someone who will win in the long run. Don't rely on memory. Don't rely on mood. Rely on your system. Rely on the data. Rely on the discipline to track, reflect and adjust. This is not about being obsessed. It's about being responsible. It's about knowing that if your vision matters, then your process must be intentional, and if your future is important, then your present must be measured. Track your progress, adjust with clarity, and let that rhythm carry you closer to everything you've been working for. Chapter 7. Spend less on pleasure and more on purpose. Most people spend their money chasing short bursts of comfort without realizing how often those choices cost them long-term peace. The path to financial growth is not built on constant pleasure, but on purposeful decisions that serve your future. When you look at how the wealthy live, you'll notice they aren't necessarily denying themselves, they're just more selective. They don't throw money at every want or whim. They invest in what matters. They're not driven by impulse, they're driven by intention. The more you spend on things that serve your goals, the less you'll need empty distractions to feel good. The idea isn't to live a boring life with no enjoyment. The goal is to stop wasting your energy and your resources on things that keep you stuck. Pleasure that's rooted in habit, not purpose, is a trap. It convinces you that you're relaxing, rewarding yourself, or living your life, but in truth it's draining your time, your focus and your finances. Look at where your money goes each month. Be honest, what are you paying for that adds no real value to your life? What are you buying just to escape boredom, stress or comparison? Once you answer those questions, the next step is clarity. Purposeful spending means your money becomes a tool to shape your future. You begin to say no to short-term rewards, so you can say yes to long-term freedom. You don't stop enjoying life, you just start enjoying it on your own terms. That means less impulse buying, fewer subscriptions you never use, fewer purchases made out of emotion, and more investments in your skills, your goals, your health, and your mindset. The difference is direction. One leads you to a stronger life, the other keeps you chasing moments that never last. We've been trained by marketing to believe that we deserve comfort all the time. You worked hard today, so you deserve the treat. You feel tired, so you deserve to relax with a purchase. You're stressed, so you need an escape. That mindset creates a cycle of emotional spending that leaves you broke, not just financially but emotionally. You become someone who reacts instead of someone who leads. You give your power to temporary comfort instead of building a life that gives you real pride. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you're creating. If your money could talk, what would it say about your direction? You don't need to cut everything. You need to connect your spending with your vision. Start by asking yourself one question before every purchase. Is this helping me grow or keeping me distracted? If it helps you grow, it's a wise expense. If it keeps you distracted, think twice. You'll be amazed at how many things lose their grip on you when you stop and ask that question. You'll realize that so much of what you used to buy was never about need. It was about habit, image, or escape. But when you begin spending on purpose, you feel stronger after every decision, not weaker. Purposeful spending builds confidence. You stop feeling guilty after purchases because you know they're aligned with your values. You stop feeling behind financially because you're in control of where your money goes. You stop blaming life for your lack of progress because you're now steering your own ship. This shift isn't just about finances, it's about discipline. It's about proving to yourself that you are not controlled by desire. You can delay gratification, you can think long-term, you can choose what serves your future over what flatters your moment. Look at the most successful people, and you'll notice they aren't chasing the newest gadget, the flashiest car, or the most expensive vacation. They're building businesses, reading books, hiring mentors, building health, and investing in freedom. They might enjoy luxury, but it's not their foundation. Their foundation is ownership. Ownership of their time, their choices, and their life. You don't need millions to start living this way. You just need the mindset. Start asking yourself, will this expense bring me closer to who I want to be, or will it keep me stuck in who I've been? Small changes compound. Choosing to cook at home instead of eating out daily can save you thousands a year. Canceling unused subscriptions and putting that money toward a course, book, or side project can build momentum. Swapping endless entertainment for focused learning can shift your thinking permanently. You don't need to deprive yourself to change your life. You need to wake up to how much you've been giving away to comfort that never fulfills you. Freedom begins with clarity, and clarity begins with asking better questions. Pleasure will always call your name. That's not weakness, it's part of being human. But you can train yourself to delay it when necessary. You can build systems to reduce temptation. Leave your card at home when you don't need it. Set a spending limit and track it daily. Build a list of meaningful purchases to reward yourself after hitting key milestones. Make your spending part of your growth, not your escape. The point is not to suffer. The point is to stop trading your future for 5 minutes of relief. You'll reach a point where you realize the most rewarding purchases are the ones that help you grow. A coaching session that shifts your thinking. A book that wakes up your drive, a tool that helps you stay organized, a course that builds a new skill. These things bring value that lasts. You use them, you grow through them, and you start seeing money not just as a way to survive, but as a tool to level up. That's when you begin living with purpose, not just working for money, but using money to work for you. You don't need to wait to be rich to spend with intention. In fact, most people only become wealthy because they started spending with purpose while they still had little. They used what they had wisely. They made sacrifices today to build options tomorrow. They stopped trying to impress the world and started building a life they didn't need to escape from. This is the mindset that creates freedom, not a mindset of scarcity, but a mindset of alignment, where every dollar reflects your values, your goals, and your growth. Ask yourself today, where can I cut what drains me and invest in what builds me? Where can I shift one small habit from wasteful to purposeful? Where have I been trading joy for entertainment, depth for distraction, growth for comfort? The answers are inside you already. All you need is the courage to act on them. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you reinforce your future. You strengthen the muscle of discipline. You take one step closer to the life you know you deserve. You won't get it perfect every time, but you'll start to notice the difference between real fulfillment and cheap thrills. You'll stop settling for quick dopamine and start building deep satisfaction. Your money will no longer control you. You'll control it, and from that place of control you'll build peace, freedom, and lasting success. Spend less on pleasure, spend more on purpose. That's how you grow. That's how you win. Chapter 8. Grow your confidence by doing hard things daily. Confidence is not something you wait to feel before you take action. It's something you build by doing the exact things you fear. Most people believe that confidence is a personality trait, something you either have or you don't. But the truth is, confidence is earned. It's built through effort. It's built through consistency. It's built by doing what's uncomfortable, especially when your mind tells you to stay safe. Every time you do something difficult and get through it, even if it's not perfect, your mind stores that experience as proof that you can handle more. You train yourself to trust your own ability to act, no matter the challenge. This is how self-belief is developed, not by hoping for it, but by proving it to yourself. The people you admire for their courage and self-assurance didn't get there by staying in their comfort zone. They chose the harder road. They faced resistance. They failed forward. They did what others avoided. And because of that, they carry a quiet strength that doesn't come from pretending. It comes from experience. You can build that same strength, but it requires one decision every single day, to do one thing that feels hard, but right. This is how you grow. This is how you shift from someone who waits to feel ready to someone who moves regardless of the feeling. Start where you are. You don't need to climb a mountain to grow. You just need to take one difficult step you've been avoiding. It could be a hard conversation. It could be facing rejection. It could be starting a task you've procrastinated on. It could be pushing your body in a workout, sitting in stillness instead of escaping with your phone, or speaking up when your voice shakes. What matters is that you lean into discomfort instead of running from it. The more you do this, the more power you gain. Because you're no longer hiding from life, you're engaging with it fully. You don't need to be fearless to act. You just need to be willing. That willingness is what sets people apart. Most wait for the fear to disappear, and because it never does, they stay stuck. But the ones who grow are the ones who feel it and act anyway. They know that fear is a sign of growth, not a sign to stop. They know that discomfort is not danger. It's a signal that you're stepping beyond what's familiar, and that's where your next level lives. It's not supposed to feel easy. That's the point. Growth comes from resistance. Each time you do a hard thing, your brain rewires itself. You go from thinking "I can't" to realizing "I just did." You go from avoiding effort to chasing it, and what once scared you becomes normal. You raise your standard. What was once intimidating is now routine. This is why small challenges matter, because every time you face them, you earn more belief. That belief turns into action. That action turns into momentum, and momentum transforms your identity. You begin to see yourself differently. You don't just wish for confidence, you walk with it. You can't fake real confidence. It's not loud or showy. It's steady and quiet. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't collapse under pressure. It's the result of proving to yourself again and again that you will not quit when it's hard, that you can be counted on, that you're not looking for the easy way, but for the way that builds you. This type of self-trust only comes through doing what most people avoid. That's why few have it. But once you earn it, it can't be taken from you, because it's not borrowed from external praise, it's built from internal truth. Hard things are the mirror. They show you who you really are. They reveal the limits you placed on yourself. And every time you do something that stretches those limits, you unlock a little more of your potential. Don't underestimate the impact of one disciplined choice, 1 hour of focused effort, one honest action, one day of not giving up. These choices stack up. They shape your future. Not with one huge breakthrough, but with small, courageous steps taken consistently. That's how the strongest lives are built, one moment at a time. The challenge is staying consistent when no one is watching. It's easy to perform when you're seen. It's harder to stay committed when the only one who knows is you. But that's when character is forged. That's when resilience grows. And that's when confidence becomes unshakable. You stop needing the world to tell you you're doing well, because you already know you are. You have the evidence. You lived the process. You've done the work. And that builds a sense of pride that no one can give you and no one can take away. Train your body to handle discomfort. Train your mind to focus in chaos. Train your spirit to stay grounded when life feels uncertain. This is the practice. This is the real work. It's not glamorous. It's not always exciting. But it changes you in ways nothing else can. You don't rise by avoiding pain. You rise by facing it, and rising anyway. That's how you discover who you truly are beneath all the fear, the doubt and the hesitation. You strip away the noise. You find clarity in the fire. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Start moving even when you don't want to. Action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence fuels more action. It's a cycle that starts with one decision. Choose the harder path. Not to suffer, but to grow. Not to impress, but to become. You will surprise yourself. You will find parts of you that have been sleeping. You will feel alive in ways that comfort can never offer. Because deep down you know you were made for more than ease. You were made for strength. And strength is only built by testing your limits. So wake up and decide. Decide to do what you've been avoiding. Decide to rise above excuses. Decide to act like the person you want to become. Because that version of you doesn't live in your imagination. That version lives on the other side of every hard thing you're willing to face. Show up for that version. Earn your respect. Grow your confidence, and never let comfort steal your potential again. Chapter 9. Focus your energy only on what truly matters. Every day, you have a limited amount of energy and attention. How you choose to spend that energy determines the quality and direction of your life. Most people waste their energy on distractions, unnecessary worries, and tasks that don't move them forward. But the wealthy and successful know how to focus their energy only on what truly matters. This means being intentional with your time, decisions, and effort. It requires discipline to cut out the noise and zero in on the priorities that produce the greatest impact. When you focus your energy wisely, you create momentum that builds lasting results. To start focusing your energy on what matters, you first need clarity. Clarity about your goals, your values, and your purpose. Without this foundation, it's easy to get pulled in multiple directions, chasing what seems urgent but lacks importance. Take time to define what success means to you personally. What outcomes will bring you fulfillment and growth? Once you know this, you can begin to filter everything through this lens. Every activity, every choice should answer the question, does this help me move closer to what matters most? If the answer is no, it's a candidate for elimination or delegation. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. Saying no frees your time and energy for the things that matter. It's not about being selfish, it's about being strategic with your resources. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your focus and tire yourself out. But when you say no to low-value demands and distractions, you protect your energy for high-value work and meaningful relationships. This habit requires practice because society often pressures us to be available and agreeable. But true success demands that you guard your boundaries with courage and respect. Focus also means resisting the temptation to multitask. Trying to do multiple things at once splits your attention and decreases your effectiveness. Research shows that multitasking reduces productivity and increases mistakes. Instead, commit to deep focus on one task at a time. When you give your full attention to what matters, you complete it faster and with better quality. This focused effort builds confidence and satisfaction. Over time, deep work becomes a habit that sets you apart from those who drift aimlessly through distractions. Another important aspect is managing your mental and emotional energy. Negative thoughts, anxiety, and unnecessary drama drain your inner resources quickly. You must become aware of what triggers these drains and develop tools to manage them. Meditation, journaling, exercise, and positive self-talk are practical ways to restore and protect your mental energy. When your mind is clear and calm, you can focus with greater intensity and creativity. This allows you to solve problems faster and stay motivated even when challenges arise. Energy is also physical. Without good health, your focus and productivity suffer. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, and movement as non-negotiable investments in your ability to focus. The mind and body work together, and when your body is strong, your mind follows. Many wealthy people view physical care as essential, not optional. They understand that peak performance requires energy in all forms. When you treat your body as a temple, you create the foundation to channel your energy toward your highest goal. To focus your energy on what matters, you must also evaluate your environment. Your surroundings impact your ability to concentrate. A cluttered space, constant noise, or digital overload can fracture your attention. Create a workspace that supports focus, clean, organized, and free from distractions. Set boundaries around technology use, especially social media and email, which can hijack your time and energy. Use tools like timers and apps designed to limit distractions so you can protect your focus windows. Your environment should serve your goals, not sabotage them. Focus means being proactive, not reactive. Life will always throw unexpected demands and crises your way, but how you respond makes all the difference. Instead of reacting emotionally or out of habit, choose your response with intention. This slows down impulsive decisions that drain your energy without results. Practice pausing, assessing priorities, and then acting in alignment with what truly matters. This habit builds resilience and keeps your energy aligned with your long-term vision. A big part of focusing your energy is also recognizing when to rest and recharge. Overwork and burnout are enemies of focus. You can't pour from an empty cup. Schedule regular breaks and downtime to restore your energy. When you rest well, you return with sharper focus and renewed passion. Productive energy is not about working non-stop, but about balancing effort with recovery. This balance sustains you for the long journey of building financial success and a meaningful life. Focus requires continual evaluation. Your priorities may shift as you grow and as circumstances change. Regularly review where you are spending your time and energy. Are these investments yielding results? Are they aligned with your core values? This reflection allows you to adjust course and avoid wasting effort on outdated goals. Keep your vision fresh and your focus sharp by making this a weekly or monthly habit. It's how you ensure your energy is never scattered, but always channeled toward your most important work. When you learn to focus your energy only on what truly matters, you become unstoppable. Your actions carry weight because they are driven by clear purpose. You stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward with precision. This focus creates confidence and momentum. It opens doors because you are seen as reliable and effective. It transforms your mindset from scarcity and overwhelm to abundance and control. This shift is the secret to attracting financial success and lasting fulfillment. Start now by identifying one area of your life where you are currently wasting energy. It could be a habit, a relationship, or a task that no longer serves you. Make a conscious decision to stop investing in it and redirect that energy toward your highest priorities. Notice how this small change feels. You will experience relief and empowerment. This is the first step toward mastering your focus and multiplying your results. Remember, your energy is your most valuable asset. Guard it fiercely. Direct it intentionally. Protect it from distractions and negativity. Nourish it with rest and purpose. When you do this, you build a powerful force that propels you forward. Wealthy thinking is not just about money. It's about how you invest your energy in everything you do. Focus your energy wisely and watch how your life and finances grow beyond what you once imagined possible. Chapter 10. Commit to growth, even when life gets difficult. Life is full of challenges that test your resolve and patience. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up lies in one crucial habit: committing to growth even when life gets difficult. Growth is not a smooth journey. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments that feel unbearable. But true wealth and success come to those who embrace these difficulties and use them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Commitment to growth during tough times means choosing to keep moving forward, learning and evolving no matter what life throws your way. When challenges arise, your natural instinct might be to retreat, avoid, or complain. These reactions drain your energy and stall progress. Instead, choose to face hardships head-on with a mindset focused on improvement. Understand that every difficulty is an opportunity to develop resilience, skills, and wisdom. Difficult times strip away what is not essential and reveal your true character. Growth is often born in discomfort. It requires you to push beyond your comfort zone, adapt to change, and keep showing up even when motivation is low. This consistent commitment builds mental toughness that sustains you long-term. Commitment to growth also means developing patience. Results don't always come immediately, and progress can be slow or invisible at first. When life gets difficult, impatience and frustration are common enemies. These feelings can cause you to quit prematurely or make poor decisions. Instead, remind yourself that meaningful growth takes time. Trust the process even when you can't see immediate rewards. This patience is not passive waiting, but an active perseverance fueled by hope and vision. It keeps you grounded and focused on long-term goals, despite short-term setbacks. Another critical element of committing to growth during hard times is embracing responsibility. Life's difficulties often feel like they happen to us, but adopting a growth mindset means taking ownership of your response. You may not control every circumstance, but you do control your attitude, choices, and effort. Accepting full responsibility empowers you to take constructive actions that lead to improvement. This mindset shift transforms you from a victim of circumstances into a creator of your destiny. Responsibility is the foundation of all personal growth, because it moves you from blaming others to changing yourself. Learning from failure is a cornerstone of growth. When life gets difficult, failure is inevitable. But failure is not the end. It's a necessary teacher on the path to success. Instead of fearing failure or avoiding it, welcome it as valuable feedback. Analyze what went wrong without judgment, extract lessons, and apply them moving forward. This process makes your growth intentional and strategic. Each failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Embracing failure in this way builds courage and deepens your commitment to growth. Commitment to growth also requires cultivating a strong support system. Difficult times can feel isolating, but surrounding yourself with encouraging and like-minded people makes a difference. Seek mentors, friends, or groups who understand the value of growth and can offer guidance, accountability, and motivation. They remind you of your potential when self-doubt creeps in. Support networks provide emotional strength and practical advice that help you navigate challenges more effectively. Growth is not a solo journey. It flourishes in community. In addition, commit to continuous learning as a key part of your growth, even when life is hard. Read books, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, and stay curious about new ideas. Learning keeps your mind active and expands your perspective beyond immediate difficulties. It equips you with tools and strategies to solve problems and seize new opportunities. When life feels overwhelming, focusing on learning reminds you that growth is always possible and within your control. This habit keeps you proactive rather than reactive. Self-care is often overlooked during difficult seasons, but is essential for sustained growth. Physical, mental, and emotional health are interconnected and fuel your ability to persevere. Prioritize rest, nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness practices even when time is tight or stress is high. When you care for yourself, you build energy reserves and mental clarity to face challenges with strength and calm. Neglecting self-care can lead to burnout and stall your growth efforts. Commitment to growth includes caring for the whole person, not just pushing harder. Setting realistic goals and breaking them into manageable steps helps maintain commitment during tough times. Large goals can feel overwhelming and cause discouragement. By dividing goals into smaller milestones, you create a clear path forward and celebrate progress regularly. These wins fuel motivation and build confidence even in adversity. Goal setting also provides structure and focus, preventing you from feeling lost or stuck. Adjust your goals as needed, but never lose sight of your commitment to keep growing. Gratitude is a powerful practice that supports commitment to growth. When life gets difficult, it's easy to focus on what's wrong or missing. Gratitude shifts your attention to what is going well and the resources you still have. This positive mindset nurtures resilience and optimism, making it easier to stay committed. Daily gratitude practices, whether journaling or simple reflection, remind you that growth includes appreciating progress and blessings along the way. Gratitude strengthens your spirit and keeps your energy aligned with your goals. Finally, remember that commitment to growth during hardship shapes your identity. How you respond to difficulties defines who you become. Each challenge is a test of your values, discipline, and courage. By choosing growth, you build a strong character rooted in perseverance and purpose. This identity attracts opportunities, relationships, and success. Wealth is not just about money, it is about becoming the kind of person who can create and sustain success. Your commitment to growth during hard times builds this identity, making you unstoppable. Start today by reflecting on one difficulty you are currently facing. Choose to see it as a chance to grow rather than an obstacle to stop you. Decide on one small action you can take right now that moves you toward growth despite the challenge. It could be reaching out for support, learning something new, or simply recommitting to your goals. Notice how this shift in mindset empowers you. This moment marks the beginning of unwavering commitment to your growth, no matter what life brings. Commit to growth and watch how your strength expands beyond your circumstances. Difficulties become opportunities. Setbacks turn into setups for greater success. This commitment creates a life that is not only wealthy in money, but rich in character, wisdom, and fulfillment. When you choose growth even in hardship, you unlock the secret power that drives lasting financial success and personal transformation.